Hey guys, Addict Cyclist here with another video, kind of showcasing my indoor training setup. So I'm going to walk through this, and you might laugh at the floor dryers on the floor at a crosswind, but let me tell you something. Thermal efficiency is probably the most important thing when you're training indoors or racing indoors on Zwift. So just to kind of go over my little setup here. So we've got a 2018 Wahoo Kickr. It did require the new key because it did make some clunking and some ticking, but where I purchased it, they graciously took care of that immediately. Customer service was great and haven't had an issue since. I could go back in and get a tune-up. I have about maybe 7 or 8,000 miles on this, so not a lot because I ride mountain bikes through the winter. This is more or less rainy day, bad weather, or tight on time. But if I'm going to do this indoor riding, I want to make sure I at least have the best experience possible. And I think a lot of it's going to have to do with the Kickr climb. It's great. Yeah, it's not needed. It's a luxury item. But when you're in the rollers and you know you're cranking up and down, especially in parts of Watopia, it's a lot of fun. It changes the position of the bike. You're using different muscles, as if you were climbing. You're using a little bit more core, so it does offer a benefit for your fitness in terms of working the body a little bit more, because again, you are compensating for the elevation in the bike itself. I just basically have my computer hooked up directly with a Wi-Fi extending pod, so it's plugged in with the Ethernet cord to give me the fastest times or download speeds, upload speeds. I have 1 gig in the house, and which is upstairs, so it's been pretty good. I just have 2 top fans to kind of get a little bit more direction towards the face, but these things on full blast, man, sometimes in the winter, and if it's a little chilly in the basement, I actually literally wear glasses so your eyes don't tear. That's how crazy it can get with these 2 blowers going. So yeah, I mean, I basically, like I said, I mountain bike through the winter. That's basically where I get a lot of my base and training done. So I'm not a strictly indoor training guy. But if you're gonna do indoor training, the Tax, I had an experience on the Tax Neo 2T. It's great. Offers a little bit of compliance when you're pedaling, so it's not as rigid as the Kickr. I know, even though that they do make these new, I don't have them on here, but they do make these new pods that you can install here that gives it a little bit more of a lateral movement. But I don't think it's necessary. I have a carpet, I have a pretty thick base pad underneath, and obviously this top mat here, so it does offer a little bit of sway, so you're not really feeling it on your body and on your knees. But I think overall this is a great setup. If I would do it again, I would do this exact same setup. If I'm going to ride indoors, I want an experience. Riding indoors to me sucks. I really don't like it a lot. The only thing that keeps me engaged is doing Zwift races, so obviously I have a little bit of a competitiveness to ride, but I can't just get on and just paddle, right, and just ride. Even doing a group ride, it's boring as hell to me. I can't stand it. But again, training's training, and this is a great tool. When I do train indoors, I want the experience to be the best that it can be. And I think this setup is probably, the most realistic, outside of maybe, the Tax Neo having vibrations if you're on certain types of pavement in game. And it does, like I said, have a little bit of sway to it. But I think, overall, I think this setup is probably better. I wouldn't say it's more cost effective, but I mean, you get to have more experience, especially with the climb aspect, and have a little bit more, call it use of your body and your core. Because again, it does change the position as if you are outside. So you feel a little bit more on your hamstrings, you feel a little bit more in your core, especially when you're doing Alpe Zwift. And it's basically like this for the most part. Literally. I mean, that's a pretty significant position there. And it does have a remote, so you can change it, yourself, which is really nice. But again, I just wanted to kind of just showcase this. This is where I do my indoor suffering here. So usually 1 day a week, 2 days a week in the winter, I do a couple Zwift races, and I'm in the gym doing strength training, squats, power cleans, deadlifts, lunges. I use the sled a lot because I find that really great for the quads and the glutes and the hamstrings, just driving down into the ground and going through full extension. So yeah, just kind of wanted to give you a little preview of some other toys that I have here in the house. But if you are riding indoors, I highly recommend getting high-powered fans. You know, these were on Amazon. They were $99 a piece. They were the best investment I've ever made indoors, and I would do it again. I might even add a third and a fourth to get all four corners covered, because it's needed. You know, when you're racing, you know, when you're breathing, you know, all that CO2 is in the air. And you know, you're just breathing your own exhaust back in. So this really does help circulate the air, but it also cools you down significantly. So you know, something to also consider. I also have a dehumidifier that's in this room to keep, you know, humidity at a 45 to 50%, which is actually, you know, pretty standard for what you'd want in a basement. And I have some friends that race on my crit team that are, you know, call it E-pros. That go as far as, you know, having indoor air conditioning units in addition to fans, because again, it's all about thermal efficiency, especially when you're indoors. So things to read about, and hopefully you know, you've enjoyed this video. I appreciate the views, appreciate the feedback and the engagement through some of the comments that I've been getting, and I've been having a lot of fun doing these videos. You know, I've been working from home for almost 2 years, and this has been giving me something to kind of look forward to each day, to kind of break up the indoor, you know, office experience. You know, now it's getting cold in Jersey, and you know, you really just can't go out for a quick walk or a spin on the bike. So again, these videos I've been enjoying these. So I appreciate the views, appreciate the support, and please tune in, like and subscribe, as I'll be doing more gear videos. And thank you. Be well.